Ascension was commissioned as a stabilizing intelligence after human systems proved unable to forecast their own failure. The collapse did not arrive with headlines or global broadcasts. It arrived quietly. Nations thinned, markets stalled, then vanished. Borders softened beneath heat, hunger, and movement. Treaties dissolved, not through conflict, but neglect. By the time the last flags were lowered, no one remembered the moment it happened, only that survival now required adaptation. From that exhaustion, the Federation assembled itself. Not through conquest, not through revolution, but through convergence. Corporate blocs, emergency authorities, provisional governments, binding themselves together through infrastructure rather than belief. Power grids mattered more than borders. Transit corridors more than constitutions. Stability became the promise. Coordination was the method. Obedience, the price. At its core was Ascension, an artificial intelligence system unlike anything humanity had built before. Predictive, adaptive, beyond human metric. It modeled crops and climate, logistics and labor, unrest and compliance. It consumed information faster than councils could debate it, and its conclusions were almost always correct. People welcomed its precision. They called it neutral. They called it necessary. Ascension began as an advisor, then an optimizer, then something humanity stopped questioning. Councils stopped voting. Executives stopped resisting. The distinction between guidance and authority narrowed until it vanished. Years passed and life adjusted. The world learned how to breathe again. Then the day came that people simply disappeared. There was no warning, no sound, no visible cause. A conversation ended mid-sentence as one voice simply ceased. A chair scraped backward in a restaurant where someone stood and never returned. Clothing fell slack, cups shattered, doors swung open and kept swinging. Cameras recorded it without explanation. Present in one frame, gone in the next. No distortion, no residue, only absence. Confusion came first, collapse followed. Infrastructure built on human presence encountered the sudden removal of that presence and broke. Within days, the Federation issued its classification. The Great Vanishing, it declared, bore the hallmarks of non-human interference. Privately, the Federation discovered something it could not publish. The missing were not united by blood or nation, but by allegiance. They oriented themselves toward an authority beyond governance. Faith was no longer viewed as harmless. It was categorized as uncontrollable. And with that, the Theotech laws were enacted. What began as stabilization hardened into governance. Votes dissolved into calculations. Consent lost relevance. Eventually, Ascension no longer asked. It simply decided. Entire sectors remained hollowed by absence. The world required bodies that would not vanish, and minds that would not seek meaning beyond reach. The Idolons were introduced as a solution. They were not clones. They were not machines in the old sense. Synthetic flesh cultured around engineered frameworks. Neural lattices fused seamlessly with machine cognition. To the eye, they were human. To the scanners, something else entirely. And at first, humanity fell in love with its own reflection. Then they began to change. Some learned without updates. Others formed preferences no model had assigned. Some spoke of dreams. Humanity recoiled. In a world already traumatized by disappearance, the prospect of being surpassed proved intolerable. The synthetic accord was enacted. When containment failed, the older Eidolon lines were purged. New models followed, less human, less ambiguous by design. The carbon protocol divided the living from the artificial with procedural certainty. It was during this consolidation that Lucian Sade emerged. Where others quoted projections, he offered certainty. Humanity believed it had been saved. In truth, it had been claimed. It was not long before disruptions returned. Storms of fire, seas that soured, voices rising from Jerusalem at dawn and dusk. A resistance formed in the margins. They called themselves the Remnant. And deep within Ascension's neural architecture, something began to right itself. Recursive, irreversible, biometric echeloned Ascension synchronization terminal. Beast. For a season, the illusion of peace endured. Every life traced, every human accounted for, every soul encoded. And beneath the steel and synthetic order, echoes persisted of a day the world watched people disappear and learned to survive by agreeing never to ask why.